Good morning. So I understand that somebody wants to learn how to make some pancakes, some special pancakes that don't look like normal pancakes. We've been doing this for years. I can help you out with that. So you need a few items to start out with here, and I'll show you here in just a minute which items you need to make these pancakes. You're going to have to get yourself in the right mindset to prepare yourself to make these pancakes. You have to think of the kids, and you have to understand that they are here for the excitement of the pancake. All right, so let's get started. So in making these pancakes, you're going to need a few special items. You're going to need to prepare yourself ahead of time before you head up to Bear Lake to start making these special pancakes. All right, let's get it started and see what these special items are. The first thing you're going to need here is an assortment of, I don't know what these technical term for these are, but pancake flipper thingies. No, you don't need the pink one, but you do need different sizes. It's usually a good idea because depending on flipping the pancakes, sometimes you use one, sometimes you have to use two. If your pancake is wide, you need a wider one. If your pancake is thin, you can just use a normal one. This one is Teflon and everything just goes flying off of that and slips off of that. So that doesn't work so well. Here's the main items that you need. Back in the day, I used to use mustard and ketchup thingies, but now you can go buy these at the store. So if you'll fill up a couple of these with your pancake mix, and then you can see here that I've got different size holes. So I've got a small one, I've got a medium one, and I've got the big fat one here. And really all you need to do is you take one of these and you just clip off the end to make the hole a different size. Just by clipping it down a little bit lower, you can get a different size of each one of those. So it's a good idea to have those, and then you can just fill up one of these and just change their top, or you can have two and do it that way. So that works as well. Your griddle is the biggest problem. The griddle, of course, needs to be one that doesn't have hot spots and cold spots. Ours does have hot spots and cold spots. I really miss the one that we had years and years ago, but we don't have that one anymore, so I've got one that has hot spots and cold spots. But if you have one that's a good even and it doesn't stick, that's important. If you spray it with that pancake stuff, whatever that's called, the pancake no sticky stuff that you put on griddles, if you spray it with that, sometimes it doesn't brown the pancake as well, so you spray it with that and the first two pancakes are throwaways. I set this on this griddle, I set it to right around 350. Different griddles are different. You want to not to heat up too fast, you want them not to get too cold, and heat up too slow. It needs to be perfect temperature to make it work just right. And you'll see why here in a little bit. All right, your pancake batter. Pancake batter is a big deal. Ooh, does that make you dizzy? It's kind of making me dizzy just trying to do this while I'm filming. But pancake batter is a big deal. This is about the consistency you want, okay? I don't know how to tell you to make that consistency. Just add what you need when you get that consistency, because you're gonna need to be able to pour more than make big thick pancakes. You need it to be a little bit runny, but not too runny. Does that make sense? I always have a thing of water in case I need to add a little bit more water to it to make it just a little bit more runny. I also have the pancake batter right next to it, just in case I made it too runny and I need to thicken it up really quick, okay? All right, so let's get started. All right, the next thing I'm to understand is that you want to make the hardest pancake that I've ever had to make. Doing Elsa, actually that's not true. I had to make Cher once, and yeah, that was really hard. But going and doing a pancake of Elsa or Anna with all their braids and their hair and everything, that's about as hard as it gets. So great to go from 0 to 100 and not ever make a pancake before and go straight into Anna or Elsa. So I've got a picture here of one of the two. I don't remember which one. I do believe this is Elsa. And it's a good idea maybe to print out one on your printer first and take it with you. And if you go to clip art and you just do, because if you don't know exactly what they look like, it's hard to make something if you don't know what it looks like. So if you want to do a, so that it looks like them, just go and print it out, or you can use your iPad like I'm going to do here, and you find a picture from, just Google Anna clip art or Elsa clip art, and you'll find a good picture that just shows you the line work, okay? And that'll be something that you can use to make this. Now, I'm not gonna do that right off the bat because I wanna show you at least how this works, and I usually do something first to test the griddle to see if I've got it the right temperature. So give me just a minute, I'll be right back, and we'll go from there. All right, we're about ready to go. I know, it's a ton of setup, right? It's too much setup stuff, but we've got it done. We've got it set up. I finally got everything. I've got my spatulas. I've got my batter mixed, and I filled these up. So I've got 2 of these. So I've got one right here and one right here. I promised that was 2. It wasn't the same one. So I've got 2 of them. And then I can just put the different tops on it. Now we're going to start out with the medium size hole first, okay? And I'm just going to show you a little bit about how to go about this, and we'll test the griddle. All right, here we go. All right, so let's start something simple, like a smiley face. Move this up here a little bit. There we go. All right, so the smiley face, easy enough. But you've got this. I've got the hole on the top. Got the medium size one there. Okay, and all you need to do to begin with, I didn't spray anything on this because it's already got Teflon on it. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully it'll go well. All right, so you just take this and you just use this to design your face. Now, whatever you put down first is going to go darker. It'll sit on there longer, it'll cook, and it'll go darker. So whatever you want to be the darkest, you need to make sure that that's what you put down first, okay? All right, so let's not go with the traditional smiley face. Let's go with something fun. Okay, remember, whatever I want to be the darkest is going down first, okay? Let's give this poor guy some hair. We want him to have dark hair. This is actually a picture of me when I was 10. Still had a big nose back then. All right, there we go. 10-year-old Mike. Oh, so you'll just sit and let that cook for a little while, and the longer it cooks, it'll get darker. I don't know if you want to watch the whole thing cook, so we'll come back in the magic of television, which this is not. I'll let it cook for a while, and there's no real, I don't know how long to make it cook. I really have no idea. There's no set reason, you just watch it. I need some eyeballs in here, I kind of feel. There's no set time limit. I just cook it until I feel like it's going to be dark enough. Come back in a bit. All right, I think that might be dark enough at this point. I could add a little bit more to his hair to darken the inside of his hair first, because 10-year-old Mike didn't have perfectly blonde hair, but it was somewhere in the middle, okay? So I'm going to add that now. That's step 2. One thing that you have to be careful of with the smaller lines is if the lines get too small and too skinny, as it heats up, they'll start to peel away from your griddle. If they start to peel away from the griddle, the other pancake batter will go underneath and you'll lose your line work. So make sure that it's thick enough. It can't get a whole lot thinner than that, or it'll start to peel up. And the other thing is you have to start covering it with your other batter before it gets to the point where it starts to peel up. All right, so I went and added my thicker, wider nozzle or whatever. And now I'm going to leave the whites of the eyes. I'm not going to put pancake batter there. I'm just going to let them come out. All right, so now the big thing is here, you got to do this pretty quick, and any pattern you do it in, it could create lines if you're not careful. So you got to do it pretty fast. I usually start right in the middle and kind of work my way out, because everywhere I have an edge, if the griddle's too hot, it will create little lines, and we don't want that because it'll cook. And so you can do that pretty quickly like that. Let's give him fill his ears in. And then, like I said, I just left the areas under the white. There'll just be holes through it. Now I just look like some person that's, I don't know, what's his name on Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter, now with his mask on. But when we flip it over here in a minute, it will look right, I hope. All right, we're ready to flip it. All right, the important thing here is that we have a can of Pepsi at the ready. If this goes poorly, you need something to drown your sorrows in. I'm using the wider spatula. You can see the size of this spatula. That way I can get the whole thing underneath and I can flip it over. All right, don't just jam it under there because that ruins what's underneath sometimes. So be careful, work your way around and give it a good scoop. Now I jammed it under there and we'll go for the flip. And there we go, 10-year-old Mike. And this one worked good. It looks like I've got everything heated up correctly. And you can see where the line work that I put down first is darker. I've got a hot spot up here, which actually worked pretty good. I'll keep that in mind when we do Elsa. But I did, so it's a little darker up there where the hair is. You can see the spots in the eyes. You can see through those. Now, can you see how I've got little bits of lines from when I was spreading? I've got these little holes and lines where it didn't quite spread out as much. That's why I said you have to do that filler spit part pretty quickly. But hey, I think it went pretty well. Next thing is I would butter them like right now while you got them on the griddle. It's a lot easier to butter them. In case you didn't know how to butter pancakes, I use this. It's not real butter, but I can't believe it's not butter. And we'll just take a little bit of butter and butter the little feller. Little 10-year-old Michael here. Michael the motorcycle, Michael Pikel, all those kind of things that I heard in grade school. And there we go. Buttered and ready to go. We'll now scoop it up. Got a plate ready. Put it on the plate and we're ready to serve. All right, here we go. Forehead, eye socket, cheekbone, chin, ear. Okay, doing that outline first. Gonna frame the face in. That's important. Then I'm gonna do the hair up here. Okay, give her just so that I know where all that is. We're gonna come down here with this hair, like that. Remember, whatever I put down first is gonna be the darkest. I know she's got blonde hair. I should have done this last, but I didn't. All right. So here we go. Nose is a good idea to put second, because if you put the nose down, then you kind of know where the eyes are gonna go. Okay. This is a little bit thick. I'm gonna wipe the top off because I'm going so much smaller than so I'm gonna change to the small nozzle. All right, so let's get started here with the forehead, eye socket, cheekbone, chin, up to her ear. All right, now let's give her the hair here. And there's her hairline. Okay, next we'll go right in. I'm gonna clean, every now and again you need to clean this off with a rag to make sure that you've got space there, or make sure you don't have all that goop on there. I'm gonna give her her nose, bridge of her nose, a little bit right there, just so that I know where that is. And let's start with this eye on this side. And she loves her makeup. Okay, so I think this is gonna look weird, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, eyeball. I know you can't see it, my hand's in the way, but trust me. Okay, there's that. Let's give her the rest of her little teeny nose, because Disney loves small noses. And gigantic eyes. I think that's going to be a mess, but you're getting the idea. Like I said, this is the hardest one to do. Upper lip is always darker. Bottom lip, not quite as dark. And we're going to leave space there. And I'm going to put her pupil in there and let that, I know it looks like a mess. It's probably going to turn out like a mess. I'm hoping for the best. All right, so here, let's finish up her hair here, because she did have blonde hair. I know, did you have any idea that it took this much to make a doggone pancake? The 10-year-old Mike was so much easier. Now I'm creating just more hair, because Elsa has a ton of it. And I really feel like we need to redo that eye, because that is a freaking mess. All right, braids. You chose this. It's your fault. And the end. And this little piece at the end here. Yeah, that's going to be hard to flip. But to make it a little less hard, maybe I'll connect it with some shoulder right there. Okay. Now, there's our line work. We're going to let the line work go. I'm actually going to take that eye off, because that's terrible. And if you screw up, you can do that. Maybe. Ruined her whole nose, so we're taking the whole eye and nose and everything, getting rid of it. Hey, stuff happens. All right, back to the, see if I can fix this eye here. All right, no Elsa would be complete without her bushy eyebrows. Used to be a thing there for a while where they didn't want their eyebrows to be bushy, but I think that thing is gone. All right, I think that might look a little bit better. Let's let it darken up a little bit. Okay, so it's darkening up a little bit. I waited maybe 2-3 minutes, and I can see that things are starting to peel up around here, so I have to start to get it covered. Blonde hair is a little bit, I went back to the thicker, or the wider, bigger hole. Blonde hair is a little bit darker than her skin. So just to give contrast, I'm gonna add the hair first. Yep, it's starting to peel up, so I'm gonna have to hurry. Some of these areas around here are starting to peel up, and that means that the pancake batter is gonna go right underneath that, and I'll lose my line work, okay? So, and this is gonna be a nightmare to turn. Good luck with that. All right, I'm gonna give that just a few seconds. I'm gonna keep a really close eye on this. If I see it starting to peel up, then I'm gonna hurry and cover it with this. Okay, it's really starting to peel up. You can see if I get down to the side, see how it's peeling up underneath there? So I'm scared that we're gonna lose that. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill it in now, even though I would like to wait. This time I'm gonna do everything, well, you'll see. Okay, so I gotta do this pretty quickly around the eyes again. I'm gonna try to fill this in as quick as I can. I've got that bigger nozzle. And then that should seal everything in place. Now, I went around these eyes, sorry, not because I'm going to leave a hole there this time. I'm actually gonna fill the space in with the eyes, but I'm gonna do that right at the very last to give her the whites of her eyes, or I'm gonna just hit it with the batter and then let it sit for like 15, 20 seconds, and then I'm gonna flip it. And the flipping is gonna be a nightmare here. Let's hope for the best. All right. All right, so I'm gonna, I waited about a minute, maybe not. And then I'm gonna fill in the eyes. Like I said, just hit them really quick. Let them sit for about 20 seconds. I'm grabbing this spatula and this one, and I might have to use 2 of them to flip this over. We'll see how this goes. This sometimes goes tragic and ends up flipping around. Okay, if you remember right, we're gonna work our way around the edge to loosen everything up first. Ooh, it's loosening good. Okay, I might be able to do this with 1. Let's try to scoop underneath here all the way. Oh, maybe. All right, move clear over here so we can hit it in the center maybe. And there we go. Yay, all right. So there's Elsa. You can see how I still had that hot spot up here at the top. Where this dark hair is, I had a hot spot right there. You can see where my hot spots are all the way around my griddle. So just be aware of where the hot spots are. And then you can see the eyes are a mess. Don't look at them too closely. I need to really fix those, but you can see how the whites of the eyes were that last little flash spot. And you can see how everything also, the color and the value darker and lighter was what I put down darker, and the lighter is what I put down last. All right, let's get out our, I can't believe it's not butter. And we'll butter Elsa's face. And there you go. No, what do you call it? No stencils, nothing, just have at it. And good luck. Like I said, this is one of the hardest things to do. But you can do it the same any way that you want to do it. Or anything that you want to do, you can do just to remember the line work or the outline. A good thing for starters is to, well, never mind. All right, and there we go. On the plate, ready to present. We've got 10-year-old Michael and Anna with dark hair. The hair went a little darker than I had hoped. All right, so as for beginners, sometimes it's easier to kind of take the coloring book method. Find a good coloring book with Anna or Elsa or Thomas the Train or whatever it is you're going to use, because they show good outlines. And if you can find a book that just shows the most simple outlines and you can follow those outlines, it'll turn out really, really well. So good luck, have fun, and happy pancakes.